Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dude Therapy Podcast. I am here with my friend, my neighbor, Nick.
Howdy.
We are bringing you our very first episode of the Dude Therapy Podcast today.
Number one, baby.
Number one.
Let's get her done, son.
Yes, sir. I think we're going to come at you today with talking about Hurricane Helene a little bit. We are both up here in the Asheville area, and we both went through that a few months ago, and Asheville and the surrounding area just hasn't been the same. And I think we just want to talk about our experience with the hurricane, the days coming after the hurricane.
Yep.
And what do you think, Nick? I mean, the hurricane came on Friday, September 27th, the day that it hit. I believe it was around 2 a.m. I had woke up the first time. I didn't have any power in the house. It was storming out pretty good. We just tried to stay away from the windows and just kind of went back to bed until some sunlight was out.
Yep, exactly.
And, I think it was a.m. We woke up again, came out, and it let up a little bit, but it was still raining, wind pretty good. And we just kind of hung out in the house, looked out the window, watched what was going on. Couldn't do much at that time. It was about 3 hours later, I guess, when everybody, us and our surrounding neighbors, had kind of all walked outside. Things calmed down a little bit. That's when we realized that we weren't just out of power.
Yeah.
We were trapped in. We had a couple trees down in our road. We're on a little back road too, so we have one way in, one way out. And
That's it.
We had about 3 trees, Carolina firs.
Yeah, we had 3 Carolina firs at the front of the neighborhood that were across the street.
Yeah.
Actually ran into the lady's car down there.
Yeah.
Covered up her car. And then, one right here at our driveway.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get past that one either.
Yeah, probably 3 houses down from us. The tree was over in the road and we couldn't get out. We ended up, I guess, just kind of making, I don't know, we banded together with the neighbors. Everybody just kind of came up with a plan. Hey, what's going on here?
Who's going to do what?
Yeah, who's going to do what?
Yep. Took a food inventory.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the first thing.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just was like, hey, what kind of food do you have? What kind of food do you have? Well, I've got this and it's going to go bad soon, but if we all cook it up, we can share it. And
well, yeah, because I don't know if you remember, but Thursday night, the night it hit it, well, it hit 2 a.m. Friday morning, but I went to Sam's Club on Thursday. I think we all were expecting like, we'll be without power for 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
But I went to Sam's, so we stocked up on, meat, and there's a couple of canned goods in there, and then, some frozen pizzas and, just stuff like that. But anyways, I didn't mean to take that over from you, but yeah, so we had, a good bit of food between the lot of us here in the back of the neighborhood.
Yeah. And we had actually done fairly well. We didn't think we were going to have this hurricane happen. We assumed by the time it got up here, it was going to go down to like a tropical storm.
At best.
We were going to get some wind. We were going to get some rain. Nothing like what we were going to have, though. We thought we might lose power just from some trees down.
Yep. Wind and rain up here don't do well with these trees.
Yeah. But we ended up faring way better than a lot of people did. I would like to point that out before we even get into this more.
Yep.
We did way better. Our surrounding neighbors did a lot better. We were able to survive. We had the food.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got lucky in a sense to where like there were no trees down on our houses. Luckily up here in the back corner, and I have no idea how none of these trees out front didn't fall, but they didn't fall.
Yeah, we actually sat out there, and there's one tree that we were debating if it was going to fall.
Yes, we were. I think at one point we put money on it.
Yeah, you could stand almost under it, and you could just see it just swaying back and forth. And
I mean, it's got to be 40 feet in the air.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Yeah,
40 feet in the air.
I mean, it had a true bend in it, swaying down.
Click, 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 click is all we heard. We were just like, all right, when's it going to go? And it didn't, thank God. But it was brutal, man. But yeah, like you said, like we did not suffer like a lot of the people did and are currently. You know what I mean? Clearly we have power, we have food, we have, right now there's still folks out there that don't, which is really sad. But
yeah, we have got back to carrying a normal day of life.
Yeah.
In our area, not everywhere in our surrounding area is the same.
Right.
But to get back, I think we were just inventorying food and seeing how much water we had. I think I ended up I just always have a stock, a couple cases of water. So luckily I had that. I hadn't prepared really for food because I didn't expect what we were going to have.
Yeah.
And nobody around here had prepared for it.
Which is funny because like I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to go to Sam's and we're going to stock up. I went and spent, doesn't even matter how much, it was enough. But like we, you know, and we'll get into this in another podcast, but we're from Florida. We've been through over a half a dozen hurricanes.
Yeah.
So we didn't expect, like, now I prepared just because that's part of what I get paranoid with the weather. Mm-hmm. You know, my nickname is Doppler Nick because I'm always looking at the weather apps on my phone, especially now with the wildfires, which is another topic. But yeah, so I don't know, man.
We took all our inventory and didn't really have much, but all the perishables that we had, we kind of, between your grill and our neighbor John, grill. He helped us out a lot, and we put all the food that we could on there, cooked it up, and we were like, maybe we can find some ice. We'll throw in coolers or something. But we won't have it for very long, but we got it for now.
Right.
That's where we started off, and we ended up perishables not too long after that.
Yeah. No, it was, I mean, by, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, by Monday, I mean, we were down to almost nothing.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, so Friday we were able to get our food going and see what we had to do. I believe it wasn't until Saturday morning.
Yeah.
We weren't able to get out with the trees, but we kind of made our way out through some of the neighbors' yards.
Yep.
And me and you had gone out and kind of assessed the damage around the neighborhood and the streets around us.
And the streets around us, we couldn't get down.
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple of them we had to just turn around.
Yeah.
If it was flooding, just trees in the road, power lines in the road.
Trees and live power lines. Yeah.
Yeah. There was people that were out there already, I believe. It was Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, they were already out with chainsaws.
Out there with chainsaws. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there was so much tree over the road that they were just cutting a little hole out for one lane that a car could go through. Yep. And that was their only access.
Once we get Facebook put up or something, we can throw some pictures on there and share them with everybody.
Yeah. And I think Saturday, so we had got out, we went and assessed the damage, and that's the day we ended up luckily finding a generator because it hit Friday and Saturday morning. The local Lowe's did not have generators. They didn't have gas cans. They didn't have anything to help anybody survive. Yep. And it's not on Lowe's. They weren't prepared for it. Just like nobody up here was prepared for it.
Nope.
So anybody that was able to immediately get out, good for them, they were able to get out and get a generator and stuff. And so it was a lot harder for the people that weren't able to get out for a day or two. We ended up finding a generator at a home improvement outlet. They had one generator and one chainsaw.
It was right down the street from here, right?
Yeah, right down the street from here. And luckily they helped us out a ton. We were able to get that from them. It was a big enough generator that it actually was able to power our neighbor's house, who actually acquired the generator. And it powered, I mean, his AC, his fridge. We had stuff running over to power my fridge, your fridge.
Yep.
And
our neighbor right next to
our neighbor's. Yep. Yeah. We had, so one house had AC that everybody could kind of go in. It didn't run all day, but we'd try and cool it down a little bit in there and turn it off. And everybody kind of go sit inside for a little bit, get cooled off, and then come out.
Yeah.
But we did our best to try and keep our food going, keep our water and everything going. So we had to keep the fridges running. That was our main importance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, then the toughest part was water, too, because we didn't have, I mean, we went 54 straight days without clean water.
Yeah.
I mean, we had running water here.
We did have running water, but it was not clean. It was barely good enough to shower with.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't use it for anything else. So
I don't even think we used it for that.
No.
Because of what they said was in it. So
yeah. I mean, we had no power for 18 days and we went 54 days with no clean water.
Yep.
Having water was more than some people could say, but we still couldn't use it. We had it, but we couldn't use it. So.
Could flush toilets, which was a big, I mean, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, it was an experience, man.
It was. I mean, so Sunday, actually, We got the generator Saturday. Sunday, we ran it Saturday on propane from the grill.
Yeah.
It was able to run off natural gas, propane, and gas.
Yeah.
And so we ran it off the propane that we had. And we were like, somebody's got to go find some fuel. Somebody needs to go find some water, some food.
Yep.
And so me and John got together and went and got food and water for everybody. And you and your family had loaded up and gone down to Charlotte. You had to go down to Charlotte to be able to get fuel, be able to get a can, be able to get propane.
Yeah.
What was that like? I was here for most of it, stuck here and trying to help the neighbors a lot.
Yeah.
You were one that actually got out and got to see what was around here. What was that like?
Oh man, it was something I never thought I would see, to be honest with you. So we were able to get out. We got out to Interstate 26 and we headed east towards Charlotte. My directions are terrible. I apologize, you guys. Yeah, we headed east towards Charlotte. And we were probably about half hour from Charlotte, and we were able to stop in a little town. And forgive me because I don't remember that, but no street lights were working, trees everywhere. I mean, even the interstate had trees down. But we were able to get down 26 over there, towards Charlotte, about a half hour out from Charlotte. And even that far out, we stopped at several exits, and the lines for the gas stations that had power, that had water, that had gasoline, that had propane, that had all these things, even Ingalls, all those.
Anything in the surrounding area that did have it, good luck getting to it because somebody else already has.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the lines, when I tell you guys, the lines had to be 3 miles long. I mean, off of the on-ramp back onto the interstate. So we just kept going another half hour and we were able to get in. I think we waited 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes to fill up our gas tank. They had propane, so we refilled one of the tanks we had. Then Lisa and I bought another one. So that way we had two. We had one for the generator. We had one for the grills. Yeah. Well, I guess grill because I didn't have a propane one at the time.
Oh, we had the charcoal one.
Yeah, that's right. So like I said, we were lucky we were able to fill up with gas. Didn't really see any price gouging like I thought I was going to see, which was a relief because when you can't go to the bank and, debit card machines don't work, you have to rely on the $150 cash you have in your pocket.
That was another huge thing.
Yeah, man.
I mean, for weeks, we couldn't get cash. We needed cash and nobody could get it. And if they were able to, they were understandably, they were only letting people get like $200, at a time.
Per transaction, yeah.
Yeah. And that really, for some, it was, I guess, enough.
Yeah.
But not when we had your family, John's family, and me, the neighbors, that we were all running.
Yeah, I mean, we had probably a dozen people in the back of the neighborhood.
So if
all banded together here.
Yeah, so if one person goes out and gets $200 to try and help 12 people survive.
Yeah, because we did, and so we did that. We also stopped at a Food Lion.
Yeah.
That was just down the street from the gas station because the Ingalls was pretty much sold out of everything. They had no bread, they had no water, they had nothing. So we stopped at this old Food Lion. Crazy that's even still open, Food Lion. But so we were able to, we probably had $75 cash left with us, and we spent the rest on Dinty Moore beef stew and, whatever canned goods we could bring back because, we had a couple of grills and then I had a Coleman stove. You had a Coleman stove with the mini propane tanks. So we were able to at least heat food up on those too. But yeah, man, it was an experience. And to see the way, because and so I'll put this into something I think you'll understand. So like a hurricane in Florida, not that you'll understand, but you'll be able to resonate this with me because you lived in Florida for a long time as well. I found that Florida people during a hurricane are just a bunch of assholes. I mean, just a bunch of assholes. I'm sorry to all my people in Florida. I've still got family there, but up here, people were willing to, they're not going to let you take their place in line, but if you're going, everybody was just cordial, man. There was no anger. At least where we were, there was no anger, nobody throwing fits or shooting guns. Now that did happen here in Arden. That did happen here in Arden, but not where we were at the time. So just kind of a much different experience, I think, but also a much more dire experience, when you talk about no power, no water and that sort of thing. So Yeah, man, it was a crazy journey.
It was, and I mean, it was when you guys came back. You brought back what you were able to for us, and you guys were able to get out, and you kind of realized just how bad it was in the area. And you guys, the next day, I mean, that night,
Sunday
you
night.
guys decided to try and evacuate and get out of there to the east coast of Florida that was not hit so bad. And
Yeah, because my parents are both, they're both approaching 80, and they were in Hendersonville. In Hendersonville, I mean, we know, like, I mean, a lot of it was underwater. You couldn't get through the roads, the trees were down, the whole nine. So Sunday night, we had talked to them briefly because we got that one bar of service right up here on the corner. And I'm telling you, like, you guys, we had to walk, I don't know, a quarter of a mile, half a mile to get one bar of cell service to hopefully get a text message out. But I was able to get a text out to my dad saying, "Hey, can you get out?" And he said there was one direction out. And so Sunday night, me and my wife and son decided to meet them on the highway. So, because we could get out to the highway. And we ended up evacuating down to Florida for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while you guys were down there, we were up here trying to fight for going through it. And we pretty much, we were okay. Me and John ended up having to go to our work.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I believe the day you guys had evacuated, me and John made it out to go to our shop, and the building is actually 1,000,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's
big.
it's massive.
It's
It's a big building, divided into multiple businesses. We're about 36,000 square feet, and I don't know about the whole 1,000,000 square foot of building, but our 36,000 square feet we're on the outer edge.
Yeah.
And the surrounding coming in, we had 3 feet of water in our building.
Jeez. Yep.
And we were fighting for that for a while, trying to get all that cleaned up. It's not a very big company, so it's like
there's like 4 or 5 of you in there.
Yeah.
Or, well, I mean, there's more employed there, but 4 or 5 of you could get to the building.
There. Yeah. And so we were trying to help and clean up. They ended up having some major cleanup crews come in afterward.
Oh, yeah.
But we were trying to salvage our machines and make sure things still worked. And it was traumatic just to see what all was out there. Just outside our shop, there's train tracks running right by it. And there was a travel trailer that was just wrapped around a telephone pole. It just had bent around it.
Because the water took it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just on the side of the train tracks.
Yep. It's insane, man. It's insane. I can't imagine the power of that rushing water. I mean, I hike to waterfalls all the time.
Yeah.
And those are pretty powerful. But man, what we saw up here was, probably 10 times that, if not more.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was crazy. And then so when we, not to shift gears, but when we were down in Florida, we stayed for a couple days at my mother-in-law's house. And
I want to hear a little bit about you guys being down there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, for us, the trip down was stressful. We had our dog. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us anymore. Rest in peace, Peanut. But we had our dog, my 14-year-old, and then, obviously the wife. And then your roommate at the time was with us as well. And we, the trip was tough, man. It was a long ways. And it was not really a long ways, but it took us a long time to get there.
Yeah.
It took us a long time to get there. But once we got down there, we were able to get settled a little bit. But we turned on the news when we got there. And when I shit you guys not, like, my wife and I sat down on the couch and we just bawled our fucking eyes out because they were showing Chimney Rock. And, like, Chimney Rock for us is a staple. We go multiple times a year. The Gem Mine, Riverwatch, I think it's Riverwatch, the little restaurant right there on the river. But all of it's completely gone. Yeah. Like, just completely gone. Chimney Rock Brewing, which we used to go to every once in a while. Just a small little brewery right on the river. I mean, great little place. Again, gone, like, just gone. And we couldn't see that because we didn't have television.
Yeah. We had no power. So that was another thing, is we had no power or anything. We didn't really have any radios. No. Weather radios. We had no clue.
How much did you and I talk about having a weather radio? And neither of us had one. Yeah.
And we had
Florida boys didn't have a weather radio. Never. Go figure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We ended up having to, we didn't know what was going on around us for a long time.
No, not at all. And that's why, when Lisa and I got down there to Florida, like it was just kind of a collective, like you let the breath out and then you see what's on the news, and we just both fucking lost it right there on the couch in my mother-in-law's house, because it's fucking devastating, man. Like I can't imagine, you know, like you said, we had it so much better where we are compared to other places. You know, Swannanoa, Chimney Rock. No shit, I forgot the other little town that I meant to write down. No, it wasn't Black Rock. There's another. Black Rock got it pretty good too. Anyways, but yeah, man, just to see the devastation, like, you know, with the helicopters flying over and
we're
videotaping
right here
everything.
By the airport too.
Yeah.
And Chinooks, the big cargo
all the
Army
time
helicopter, military helicopters. I mean, just countless times a day for weeks, just in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yep. Because they weren't running any airplanes out of the airport. I mean, Asheville Airport, you guys, is literally right. I mean, we can see the planes take off from our neighborhood. Yeah. That's how close we are. But yeah, I mean, there was all sorts of helicopters and news helicopters, you know, flying over and all sorts of stuff like that. It was crazy, man. But yeah, so the day before we left, we were down there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we had to come back Friday because my wife's job told her to come back, which is absolutely ridiculous to me, but that's another story for another time. Probably not on a podcast. But, you know, so Thursday night before we left, I went over to Ace Hardware, picked up a weather radio, and we had my wife's Camry. And we put poor Zach, because he was sitting in the back seat of a Camry with bags just piled up in front of him. I had the dog at my feet in the front, and we put 8 cases of water, 9 cases of water in the back of that Toyota Camry before we came home, because we didn't know what we were coming back to. Yeah. I mean, because when you could get a text out, or when you could receive my text, you know, by the time I got it, it was, you know, days later. So we didn't know who had water, who didn't. So we wanted to fill up as much as we could and bring it back while it was all available. So, because once you get up to like even Greenville, South Carolina was hit pretty bad too. And so they didn't have power, you know, they didn't have water. So imagine from, you know, south of Greenville to Asheville and then beyond nothing, absolutely nothing. It was fucking incredible, man. And I never want to experience it again. And I never want to see the devastation that it caused again. Like, I feel for all these people, man, that still don't have. And again, I know you and I talked, we're not going to go into it, but I still feel for all these people that just don't have, you know, having trouble getting there. Anyways.
Yeah. Out of respect for them, we're not going to go too deep on
No, I will not. Yeah, I will not.
But even the not having service here, like we have said, we're both from Florida. Our families are all down in Florida. We're the ones up here in Asheville, North Carolina, and none of them could get a hold of us for days.
Yeah.
Luckily, most of our family is all on the east coast of Florida. Florida did get hit by the hurricane. West Coast was pretty bad. Yep. East Coast fared a lot better. We
were in Fernandina Beach, and they didn't get anything. I think they got some wind. Yeah, that was it. They didn't get anything else.
And like you were saying, we had to walk up to try and, I mean, you stick your phone to the sky and you might get a bar. And the thing was you would get a text in, and I'd have something for my family. Hey, are you okay? And all that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't text them back. And I mean, it'd be days later. And then they're trying to text me and like, hey, we'll bring you stuff. What do you need? Do you need water, food, gas? We'll travel up there. We'll bring it in. And it's like 2 days later, I'm trying to text them back, like, you can't even get here right now. Like, like, I really appreciate it, but I need it, but you can't bring it here.
Yeah.
And I can't even talk to you enough to be able to get you through to get you here.
Right. And yeah. I mean, I got an old buddy that lives in Raleigh. And he offered, I have another couple of friends that live up in High Point. And at that point, they couldn't get here.
Yeah.
Coming from those directions, you know, going to Florida, it seemed okay. Once you got out of the general area.
That was the thing too, is you could kind of get out of here, but with all the relief trying to happen, people bringing in so many goods and everything, other people, we had a lot of like tourists, not like I'd say tourists, people trying to see the aftermath of the hurricane, and that didn't live around here. And a lot of people are trying to come in, and they didn't understand that when you get here, you ain't getting out. Like, we don't have gas for you to fill up to be able to drive around.
Yeah, we couldn't put gas in our cars.
Yeah, we couldn't put, Yep. And so, I mean, all the traffic trying to come up here, you couldn't really come up here. It was a couple of days after that you were able to get out.
Yep.
And it was just tragic.
Yeah, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. So, like I said, our hearts go out to, all our friends in the other parts of Western North Carolina that they're still going through some of this shit, because I don't wish it on anybody, man. I don't. Forgot what else I was going to talk about, Chase.
That's a
part of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of covered how we did. When you came back up here, it was just another few weeks of no power. We just lived off the generator, and by the time you came up here, we were actually able to get goods.
Yes.
In our area.
In limited amounts.
Limited, yeah.
And there was also Red Cross, FEMA, and then I wish I could remember. I need to look up all the mountain charities and things like that have been really great around here. Because you could go up to BB Barnes up here, and they fill you up. With whatever you could take, and it was like my 14-year-old was out there loading up cars. When he could get out there, so I don't know where I was going with that, you guys, but it just it was nice to see everybody kind of rally together.
It did, yeah. Especially here too. Everybody in the area banded together and did a great job through the hurricane, helping people out.
Yep.
But I gotta say, all of my family's in Florida. I'm the only one up here, and if it wasn't for my neighbors and all banding together, I don't know, I probably would have evacuated to Florida and then just said, forget it.
I ain't going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very fortunate to have you guys up here. Everybody was really loving and caring, and nobody was like, oh, this is terrible, we're going through this, and grieved about it. Everybody understood what happened and knew what they had to do to help.
Yeah. We dug our heels in, we took a job, and we got it done, which again is what I can say for a lot of people here, man.
Yeah.
In worse areas than we are. Yeah. So yeah, it was cool to see. I don't want to see it again.
No.
But the community's coming together has been a really, really eye-opening thing, man. Absolutely blew my mind.
Some of the surrounding areas are still in cleanup. They're not close to being rebuilt. We have a couple areas around us that are getting into the rebuilding area. Mm-hmm. They're doing a great job. They've had people working around the clock there to get
volunteers working around the clock for working for free.
Yeah. And our area here in Arden, we've done fairly well. We didn't have as much of the flooding in most of our businesses, and I think everything kind of, once the power was back on, the water was good.
Yep.
That's when things started opening back up, and we were able to get all our everything was kind of going back to normal in our area.
Yep.
And now we're back to day-to-day life of going to work and everything.
Yeah.
But my travel to work, I look at all the devastation every day.
Well, just a couple weeks ago, they finally hit our streets here to get all the debris. So, it's a slow moving process, but when you don't have a lot of people, it's,
it's been open and they've had the power lines and everything up. But like you say, just the debris has been sitting there. Mm-hmm. And it's just because there's so much.
You can still go down to
take time.
Have you been to Biltmore?
Cruise. I have not recently been to Biltmore.
There's still dirt on the roads in Biltmore from all the flooding. Yeah. And I think they're finally starting to, some of those restaurants over there are starting to rebuild, which is good.
Yeah. It was about January, beginning of January when I was over in that area.
Oh, okay.
I haven't really been back. It's been about 2 months.
Yeah.
But even, still.
Yeah.
It's been 8 months, maybe 6 or 8 months. Since
September, end of September, October, November, December, January, February. So 5 months.
Oh, 5 months.
Almost, yeah.
5 months.
Yeah.
My math's bad there.
That's okay. Mine's not good either. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's been a long day. But yeah, man, I would say, let's go ahead and wrap this up for episode 1.
I think we covered everything we really wanted to cover and kind of give our experience. We fared way better than a lot of people did.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. It was just, I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
I'm glad we fared better because I'm able to be here talking about this right now. There's still people in tents while it was snowing up here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I'm not going to go there because we'll get in trouble by somebody out there if I go off on all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep that
Well, yeah,
for
we're gonna end it
off air.
off here. I think this was a good first episode here.
Absolutely, man.
It was the Dude Therapy Podcast. And I am Chase, and this is my good buddy Nick here. And I think we'll see you on episode 2. Episode 2, I think we're going to get into a little bit about us being from Florida and our adventure coming up here.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great one.
I agree.
It's going to be fun.
I agree. Well, listen, guys, we appreciate you sticking around and listening. Hit us up on Spotify. We don't have any social set up yet. This is still brand spanking new. But once we get those set up, we'll let you know. You can comment on Spotify, and we'll be able to see it. But other than that, you guys, listen, thanks again for tuning in. And Dude Therapy Podcast. Out.
See you later.
Boom. Episode 1, son.
Episode 1.
And done.